the last 10 years, data traffic has grown 27-fold worldwide. And some analysts are starting to forecast similar growth over the next 10 years, considering the impact of new services such as Web3 in early adopter markets. It is an exponential change. Yet, data volume is just one of the aspects of the challenge. Moving from today's connectivity to that of the future is a bigger leap than moving from black and white photography to 3D virtual reality. Apart from speed, mobility, embedded security, and privacy, other attributes will color connectivity. Latency, capacity, and processing and storage capabilities, adding on top of that a significant degree of personalization to meet the wide spectrum of needs and requirements by our customers. The new connectivity is not plain. It is featureful and sophisticated. We have the unique responsibility to make it happen. Connectivity is the foundation of everything that is digital, today and tomorrow. Our transformation for the future that will meet up with these demanding needs is underpinned by 3 pillars: low latency, programmable networks, and cloud and edge computing capabilities. It means much more than transforming. It means that we need to reimagine ourselves. From copper, 2G, 3G, and 4G to full IP fiber and 5G networks. From hardware-based reactive networks to software-based smart networks. From minutes of voice to gigabits per second capacity, latency, and processing. From interconnecting voice to open APIs. From tailor-made integration to a global ecosystem of interconnected platforms. From telco service provider to bidirectional tokenized platform. From commercial bundles to a digital supermarket. From carrier to a Web3 company. Again, we need not just to transform, but to reimagine ourselves. Our infrastructure and our systems become virtual and software-based, and open software ecosystems more proactive, automated, programmable, secure, and liquid. We can do the magic of transforming a really complex system into a real-time massive enabler. And we are putting a brain on top of it, a brain that makes this powerful body incredibly agile and intelligent. But this is not all. We are going to open this newborn supercomputer as an innovation platform in an extremely simple way. Through standard APIs, we will create another standard, just as we did 37 years ago with the GSM. This is no longer a telecom network. It is a massively decentralized and distributed supercomputer, probably the most powerful one. A supercomputer that is available to everyone, in every house, in every street, in every village, in every corner of the earth. 15 years ago, the mobile device designed for voice became something else, and mobile computing was born. We changed the world. Today, the telco networks at the confluence with computing, AI, and Web3 are giving birth to the Earth computing. We are doing it again. Cloud computing has been a step change in technology, but the cloud is not going to be able to cope with all the traffic that Web3 is generating. The cloud needs the Earth. In a simple way, so that developers that are creating products and services and have generated the most dynamic innovation period in human history can navigate and explore new universes in an open ecosystem, in a single line of code. This is the time to merge the best of the Earth with the best of the cloud. This is the time for collaboration between telcos, big techs, and industry players to create the digital future together, to interconnect customers and developers, to better serve citizens and open new opportunities for all. Something as amazing as this has happened before, not so long ago. In 1987, GSMA changed the world, created a better world. 35 years after that, the GSMA counts with 1,100 members, out of which over 680 are operators reaching 5.5 billion people with voice, data, and roaming services. GSMA has created what today is one of the most impactful platforms in terms of welfare creation, productivity, and economic growth. Why not do it again? We can do it by remembering who we are. We are the ones that, through worldwide collaboration, created something unique. We were not afraid to change, to radically transform ourselves, to embrace mobility and computation, and to make it simple and universal. To make something very complex really easy for customers and developers. And that is the leitmotif of Open Gateway. Through Open Gateway, we can make the Earth to talk and connect with the cloud in a simple way, creating, once again, a massive impact. With 21 signatories of the Open Gateway MOU, reaching 3.9 billion people and ready to offer them the services of the future. That is the ambition behind Open Gateway, to establish a common layer to expose network capabilities, to transform the whole ecosystem to benefit all, to truly connect the Earth and the cloud. The possibilities are endless, because this means innovation, creativity, and advancement. Aligned with this vision, the GSMA is moving from being the largest voice and data platform to becoming the largest API-based data platform worldwide. From hacking voice to hacking data, from voice roaming to becoming an actual digital supermarket, from a telco association to being recognized as a key technology standards association. The world would not be the same today if the GSMA had not done their job years ago. And today, we are ready to do it again. We are reinventing the GSMA. We are making this real. We are making things happen. It is happening this year. The telco network is the last infrastructure frontier that was not available as code. We are changing that paradigm. Today, we count on 8 standardized APIs agreed by the 21 signatory operators. I encourage you to visit the booths of Open Gateway signatories. There is a lot going on. This is an industry effort resulting from a strong willingness to collaborate. I would like to explicitly mention the remarkable collaboration we are establishing with Microsoft, AWS, and Google Cloud. I have a great admiration for Satya Nadella, and I am proud to say Microsoft adheres to this vision. Together, last September, we created this Earth Computing name. Let me share his message with you.
Thank you so much, Jose Maria. It's fantastic to join you at this pivotal moment for the industry. The role of digital technology and connectivity in every aspect of work and life has never been more important. As computing becomes embedded in the real world, every organization will need more ubiquitous and decentralized computing fabric. At Microsoft, we are focused on extending that fabric from the cloud to the edge together with our operator partners. That's why GSMA's Open Gateway initiative is so very important. We are proud to support this initiative to be one of the founding members of Camara, which will help harmonize access to operators' APIs. We are bringing the Open Gateway initiative to Azure in partnership with AT&T, Deutsche Telekom, Singtel, Telefonica, and many others as part of Azure Programmable Connectivity, which provides a unified interface across all operator networks. And we continue to add new capabilities to Azure for Operators, from the new Azure Operator Nexus, which efficiently runs network functions in hybrid cloud, to AI ops services, which help optimize infrastructure with breakthroughs in AI technologies. And this is just the beginning. We look forward to partnering across the industry to unlock new, transformative experiences for people and organizations everywhere. Thank you so very much.
I would like to thank Satya for their valuable partnership and their commitment to the Open Gateway vision. We are working towards an open digital ecosystem whereby developers can call upon the aspects of the network that help them maximize the very best customer experience. Telcos are becoming supercomputers and active co-creators of the new digital era. We deserve a much more balanced ecosystem. This new world needs collaboration, and collaborating means everybody contributing with a fair share of the effort. Keeps those words in mind, fair share. 1 year ago, we met here, and I remember distinctly speaking about hyper-sector collaboration. Collaboration makes all of us stronger. Collaboration fosters innovation, opportunities, and growth. Collaboration truly embodies the power of what can be done to improve people's lives when we all come together. We are building a new world. We will have a positive impact on people's lives as we did when we created the mobile ecosystem. Putting people at the center means putting values, equality, and trust at the center. This new world requires a new social contract, a better one. The digital world we are creating together should foster progress and sustainability. For telcos, it's been and still is a long journey. In the last 10 years, telcos worldwide have invested around $3,600 billion in their fixed and mobile network. This is a huge number, a huge effort. Telcos have come a long way to build the Earth computing. Telefónica, our company, has come a long way. Believe me, Telefónica is an amazing company with amazing people. Next year, we will celebrate our first 100 years of history, and we are younger than ever and attached to the Earth. Things happen on planet Earth. Life happens on the Earth, as well as diversity, curiosity, intelligence, innovation, and certainly humanity. Earth computing happens on the Earth, where humans live. Let's do it again together. Welcome to the era of Earth computing. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Jose Maria. I mean, I could not agree with you more at all. Now, tomorrow's possibilities really, really are endless, with our industry right at the center of it, providing stable, decentralized supercomputers in every country. And this next transition is absolutely crucial for us. Web 3.0 will trigger a new explosion in network traffic, making it inefficient to transport data from the Earth to cloud and back. Consumers and their new data-driven world will need Earth computing at the edge of the network to extend the capabilities of cloud computing. Now, our industry is positioned to do exactly this, and work has already started. Yeah, so 35 years ago, 13 countries worked together to harmonize mobile voice services through the GSM standards, creating the foundation of today's mobile connectivity. And GSMA Open Gateway will deliver an impact similar to that first harmonization. Of course, we have heard about open APIs before, but the difference is that this time they will be universal, providing access to the world's largest connectivity platforms through a single point of access. Just imagine the possibilities that will open up, allowing developers and cloud service providers to improve and build new digital services and accelerate the development of immersive technologies. Over the past few months, we have been working with operators to develop proof that this concept really works. To start with, we have 8 APIs that have been developed, from device location and SIM swap to combat financial crime, to edge discovery and quality on demand, which will improve drone safety. And this is just the beginning. We expect to see many, many more APIs developed in coming years, creating new markets, offering new services and functionality, and unlocking value from 5G connectivity, which in turn will flow into global economy and strengthen future investments. Now, this is an incredible opportunity for telcos working together on a common strategy, for the developer ecosystem to capture their requirements, and for big tech to ensure APIs solve new product and business challenges. As you heard earlier, we have already started engaging with companies like Microsoft to build this ecosystem, and this will only grow. And from Google, let's take a look and see what Thomas Kurian, CEO of Google Cloud, has to say.
Thank you, Mats. I'm thrilled to be with you today. And hello to everyone in the room and those joining us virtually. As the industry comes together in Barcelona, I've been reflecting on how much we have evolved as we work to connect the world. Carriers are some of our most important partners, and our industries support and complement each other. For example, last year we announced a partnership with O2 Telefonica to bring its 5G core network in Germany to the cloud, using our infrastructure and deploying Google Distributed Cloud Edge in its data center. We also announced a partnership with Deutsche Telekom, which combined Google Cloud's Edge technology with our strength in analytics to improve and optimize network planning. Last week, we announced an important milestone in this partnership by deploying their 5G core network functions on Google Distributed Cloud Edge in a pilot in Austria. Working together with Telefonica and many other carriers, we're now exploring the concept of network monetization, aimed at allowing select third-party developers to consume open gateway APIs through our cloud marketplace. Today, we're also announcing a set of telecom products, including telecom network automation, telecom data fabric, and telecom subscriber insights that enable our partners to better serve their users and drive significant operational benefits. And we continue to make significant investments in our global infrastructure, such as our data centers, subsea cables, to support global traffic growth in partnership with our carrier partners. Beyond cloud, Google has also invested in the industry for many, many years. We've experienced creating scaled ecosystems that enable the success of a diverse set of stakeholders like YouTube, Chrome, and Android. Let me go a little bit deeper on Android's impact on OEMs, carriers, developers, and users. There are over 3 billion monthly active Android devices worldwide. Companies from a range of industries build with Android today, supporting a growing ecosystem of connected devices like smartphones, wearables, and cars. Our work in this space is a testament to our belief that partnership and mutual benefit is the only way to build a successful ecosystem. I'd like to leave you with a few closing thoughts. First, if you look across Google, there are a few common themes that knit all of our products and platforms together. One is that we are only successful when others are successful. And our expertise lies in using deep computer science to solve complex problems. Second, it's clear that we are at the dawn of the artificial intelligence era. It's something we've been working on for many years, but is still in its very early days. And we are committed to taking a bold and responsible approach in this space. Third, connectivity is an important component not only of AI, but of technology more broadly that can address societal challenges. This is an area where technology and telecommunications companies can work side by side to address growing demand and needs. I look forward to the collaboration that lies ahead and the deep ecosystems that we will create together. We are excited to be on this journey with all of you. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Thomas. You are so right. This is about building deep ecosystem together. And this is what the GSMA Open Gateway is all about, opening up opportunities across industries and verticals. Now, may I suggest that you visit the GSMA Pavilion, which is located just outside of the auditorium, to see some of the use cases in action for yourself. Now, with all these opportunities, there are, of course, some practical issues that we need to address. The first one is investments, spectrum, and then, of course, usage gaps. So let's start with investment. Between now and 2030, operators will spend roughly $1.5 trillion on their mobile capex. $1.5 trillion on mobile capex to keep up with our demand, the customers' demand on their networks. And over 90% of this will be towards 5G. I think that is quite remarkable, don't you? And we're exploring innovative financial models to make sure we can achieve these investments. Now, we also need to invest in innovation. 5G will drive digital transformation across every single sector. And so partnerships are really key. And as an industry, we are ready. So let's talk about spectrum. And we know so well that affordable spectrum is absolutely vital to our industry. And this year is a critical year with the World Radio Conference, WRC, in Dubai. 5G needs capacity to grow. And as we know, speed and quality are directly linked to spectrum. We are working very hard so that the decisions made at this year's conference will increase harmonization, allowing us to deliver fast, affordable mobile services to more people, reducing the usage gap and driving scale and further investment. We need this year's WRC to deliver low-band spectrum to decrease the usage gap, 3.5 gigahertz harmonization to drive affordability, and 6 gigahertz band for the crucial expansion of 5G. Now, if we can achieve this, we have an opportunity to put mobile services into hands of billions more people across the world and ensure that no one is left behind. Now, this brings me nicely to the last issue, the usage gap. As you walked into MWC today, you might have walked through the usage gap zone on the upper walkway. Well, that is a reminder that almost half of the world's population are not using mobile internet. Take a moment to think about that. That is 3.6 billion people. And that 3.6 billion is made up of 400 million people who live in areas not covered with any type of mobile broadband. That's 400 million. That's the coverage gap. And the much, much bigger usage gap, the 3.2 billion people who live in areas with coverage, that are covered with a mobile broadband, but are not using mobile internet. Now, the usage gap is one of the biggest challenges that we as an industry are committed to overcoming. We need to work across the whole ecosystem to eliminate the barriers. And they are affordability, specifically handset affordability, but also digital skills and literacy, and create relevant content in local languages to ensure that everyone can safely access mobile internet and enjoy the journey into the new era. Now, Orange, the mobile operator Orange, has been doing a lot of work in this space, and so please welcome me welcoming the new CEO, Christel Heidemann, CEO of Orange, to the stage to hear more about their vision to the future. Welcome, Christel. So good to have you here.
Thank you. Good morning. We all want to build the future we dream of. But our understanding of building this future has changed dramatically in the last decade. Actually, the last time I attended Mobile World Congress was here in Barcelona in 2013. We were looking at innovations concerning smartphones and tablets with first 4G compatible handsets. We were also showcasing how a more connected future powered by mobile would improve people's daily lives across automotive, education, health, homes. I'm coming back exactly 10 years after, and there's now no doubt that our industry has become absolutely critical to consumers and companies, with our networks supporting essential digital services to our societies. And times are exciting in telecom, with latest technologies allowing us to rejuvenate as we become even more critical to our societies. But I also realize that over the past 10 years, the situation for European telcos has become completely paradoxical. The headwinds for our industry in Europe have indeed perhaps never been greater. From fierce competition to sometimes outdated regulation, our sector is dealing with contradictory requirements. Actually, 46%, yes, 46% of telecom CEOs think their companies won't make it another decade, according to PwC. Because the massive network investments, almost 600 billion euros in Europe in the last decade, happen to be hard to monetize, and consumers expect to pay always less and get more. In the meantime, telcos are facing pressure from investors to squeeze their capex while coping with exponential traffic growth, mainly concentrated by a handful of digital players. I truly wonder if this is what we had in mind 10 years ago for the future of our European industry. Despite the strong resolution of the European industry to take up the digital decade challenge through innovation and collaboration, are we really setting the right frame for telcos to succeed? Let me share with you today some of my convictions, along with examples of what we are currently working on at Orange, in line with our new plan called Lead the Future, which I presented 2 weeks ago. First, because the entire sector is at a crossroads, I believe we need to step aside and take a fresh look at our industry. Our industry is indeed facing complex trends in Europe. It looks paradoxical that infrastructure is better valued as a standalone business than within the telecom sector. Obviously, the pandemic has demonstrated how critical a resilient and secure infrastructure is to our customers. But this infrastructure requires huge investments that some telcos are no longer able to fully absorb, and they are consequently compelled to partly sell their assets off. Yet, we all know that without infrastructure, many of the digital innovations we're talking about at the Mobile World Congress would not be possible. That is why our infrastructure is being modernized. All copper networks are being decommissioned throughout the world. It doesn't make sense to continue operating them for technological, economic, and environmental reasons. Fiber is indeed 4 times more energy efficient than copper. On the mobile side, the same goes on for 2G or 3G, which will be shut down in most European countries in the coming years. Let's continue with networks. Virtualization and softwareization combined with AI will massively impact the way we operate, along with the need to upskill our teams to implement those technologies. These innovations are also key for us to bring even more secure and resilient networks and better meet our customers' increasing expectations, including public authorities. These complex trends, but also exciting innovations, require all of us to work together as an industry. And I'm happy to see many of us collaborating, which brings me to my second point. I strongly believe that European telecommunication companies are committed to take this future in their own hands, side by side, with an open, sustainable, and collaborative approach. As I've said, collaboration is key. It has always been critical to develop standards in our industry, but collaboration will now become a strong fundamental in the way we operate. in the way we innovate. Let's take one of the many interesting innovations of Mobile World Congress 2023, the GSMA Open Gateway that was announced this morning. Telcos already have the experience of existing API exposures to developers, but the Open Gateway initiative is a fantastic opportunity to investigate together this field of new network opportunities. We are working hard to provide easy-to-use network APIs that any developer could consume to create innovative services. We as telcos know our networks and we manage their deep technical complexity, but we will offer a very simple and harmonized way to access its numerous functions. It's really the concept of Earth computing that Jose Maria talked about. Earth computing, we can make the Earth to talk and connect with the cloud in simple way. This more open approach of network management also resonates with new models of network sharing agreements. Through Open RAN, and we've announced an experimentation with Vodafone in rural areas in Romania, telcos will benefit from the sharing advantages, mainly lowering cost and energy consumption, while being able to tailor their own software to fit their customers' needs. Telcos' open innovation initiatives with big tech as with startups are also countless because, yes, this open approach is key to our resilience. But with an open future may come as many opportunities as threats. And we must make sure that together we're building a responsible, secure, and eco-friendly framework for the digital world we are supporting. Starting with our own network operations, the figures speak for themselves. According to GSMA, network traffic has increased by more than 10 times over the past 5 years, while telcos' energy use has remained almost flat in the same period. That's a great achievement, but it's only a start when you look at the traffic exponential trends. That is why, while rejuvenating our new networks need to be green by design, another area where telcos must work together. We will see a series of innovations this year in Barcelona on this topic, including using AI to optimize network energy consumption. This is also an area where tremendous progress can be made thanks to further infrastructure sharing between telcos. Probably the best way to expand coverage without rolling out duplicate networks and without reducing competition. Telcos are also responsible for the use of this open digital world, as cyber threats are becoming a day-to-day concern for companies as for individuals. And this is why at Orange, we decided to invest in cybersecurity with our dedicated entity, Orange Cyber Defense. In short, I truly think that telecommunication companies are committed to play their part in building a responsible digital world, green, accessible to everyone, and secure by design. We keep innovating and massively investing to support this digital world and meet connectivity requirements. But I must also ask, is the whole digital industry contributing fairly to the fundamentals of our digital world? Because I believe we are at a crossroads in Europe. It is time our industry proactively and collaboratively builds the future we all dream of, because it's only achievable with the right conditions. Telcos have to deal with a very difficult equation between investment and regulation. While customers demand the highest standards of services, quality, to meet their increasing needs, European telcos are under pressure to achieve the digital decade targets. But let's be clear, Europe needs a much bigger push to hit these targets, and this push needs to be applied to the whole digital ecosystem, not just to telecommunication operators. It is time to recognize that the telco industry has been one of the greatest contributors to our economies through massive investments. As I've said already, we invested more than 600 billion euros over the past decade in Europe. Fair play rules start with acknowledging the unbalanced situation today. 5 of the largest online traffic generators account for 55% of daily traffic on telco networks. This represents approximately 15 billion euro cost borne by European telcos each year within the 56 billion invested by telcos every year in Europe. My conviction, and my peers will certainly agree, is that regulators and policymakers have a major role to play to balance this unsustainable situation. Because after all, it is in our common interest that telcos keep investing to support new digital services and to meet growing customer needs in all sectors of Europe's economy and society. Recent research shows indeed that there's a risk of 45 million Europeans not being reached by gigabit networks by 2030. To that end, we call for a new European framework which would bring a fair contribution of large online traffic generators to connectivity requirements. All operators are used to implementing wholesale agreements, from fiber cos to legacy networks, in order to achieve their existing and future connectivity goals. And we are all willing to set the proper commercial framework with large online traffic generators. Such framework between telcos and large online traffic generators would allow value creation for everyone and to further accelerate the digital services our customers need. Therefore, we welcome the public consultation launched last week, which is the first step to tackle this issue. Let's be clear, we are not asking here to change Europe's net neutrality principles, nor are we asking for a new tax mechanism. In order to achieve the EU digital decade, we do believe that a fair and direct contribution to network costs will help create the better conditions we urgently need to keep investing privately rather than requiring public funding. My last word will be inspired by a French writer from the last century, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. He used to say, "It's not about predicting the future, but making it possible." I think he's right, and this is what we've chosen to express in our Orange strategic plan called Lead the Future. Our telco industry is absolutely essential and is fast adopting latest innovations, but we must capture the full value from our services and from next-generation open networks. And our future cannot be built alone. So I ask everyone here to step forward, not to lead the future, but to lead our future. Because we can make it happen by setting the right conditions and choosing the right commitments. Because in the end, we all want to make our dream of an open but fair future come true. Thank you.
Thank you, Christelle. Well done, well done. Wow, that was pretty good, wasn't it? I totally agree with Christelle. In today's world of digital everything and complex customer needs, collaboration across industries is absolutely vital. You know, it used to take two to tango, two to do business. I sold something to you, that's sort of two to tango. But in today's complex world, it certainly takes more than two, maybe three or four to tango. And that is complicated. So we've heard from operators, we've heard from cloud providers. Now I think it's time to hear from the public sector. However, we will need to wait a little bit. So I suggest you get your mobile phones out, maybe check your emails or your messages while we prepare the stage behind me. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Use your mobile phone, tweet away, and I'll be right back. Thank you very much.
vi också ska nå våra gemensamma satta mål på EU-nivå där vi har de är ju beslutade gemensamt och idag ska vi också diskutera, vi ska dela best practice mellan olika medlemsstater hur man redan nu förbereder implementeringen av Fit for 55-filerna, lagstiftningen. Så det är liksom dagens agenda och morgondagens också när vi kommer att testköra tunga eldrivna lastbilar. Sen får vi återkomma till den typen av frågor längre fram.
Tack. Vi måste tyvärr bryta där.
Tack så mycket. Thank you very much.
Good morning. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able for the Swedish presidency to welcome both the transport and energy ministers from all over the European Union. It's a very special time with given the geopolitical situation, but also given the fact that we have high set climate goals and we need to find a way to move forward and connecting the two of them. I don't think it can be stressed enough the need to make sure that we become more independent from fossil-free energy sources, and I think therefore it's really very good that it's possible to both combine the transport ministers and the energy ministers. Also, given that within the European Union, the transport sectors is one of the sectors where we have the largest parts of the emissions, and making that a green transition for the transport sector is both of importance if we are to reach our high set climate goals, but at the same time also maintaining mobility for Europeans, and at the same time also paving way for an even higher degree of competitiveness for our companies. And I think given that we just passed the 1-year mark for Russia's awful invasion of Ukraine, it is also an honor to be able to welcome the Ukrainian energy minister, Arman Galoshenko, later on today. And we look forward to hearing what they see as most pressing, but it also pushes and emphasizes the sense of urgency to make sure that the European Union becomes stronger in this difficult geopolitical situation and making sure that we can cut our dependency from fossil fuels moving forward. I think I'll stop there and see where we have the questions. Det finns ju ingen quick fix ur den här energikrisen, vare sig i Sverige eller den Europeiska unionen. Och ska vi klara av att EU blir av med sitt beroende utav dels fossila kraftslag, men också då specifikt ryska kraftslag, då måste vi öka energiproduktionen inom den Europeiska unionen framåt. Så nu behöver vi bana väg för alla kraftslag och att vi ökar helt enkelt elproduktionen inom den Europeiska unionen. Och det är ju det jag menar att de diskussioner som vi har nu behöver ta sikte på och komma ut ur de här mera akuta diskussionerna som har varit. Ja, det behöver ju vara en av de viktigaste delarna i en ny energimarknadsdesign, att försöka dämpa risken för den typen av prischocker som har slagit både mot hushåll och mot företag. Men det finns inget sätt att göra det på som inte involverar att man faktiskt ökar elproduktionen. Och det är där EU nu behöver landa. Antingen så byter vi beroende av rysk gas mot då gas ifrån andra länder som inte är långsiktigt hållbara, vars värderingar vi har svårt att komma överens med långsiktigt också. Eller så hittar vi då fossilfria kraftslag där alla, både då vind och kärnkraft, välkomnas framåt. Och det är den typen av diskussion jag ser framför mig idag.
Kommissionen betonar ju framförallt att man ska gå ner i förnybar energi när men du säger att den för kärnkraften.
Ja, det är ju välkänt vad den svenska ståndpunkten är i den här frågan och det är en viktig del utav samarbetet inom den Europeiska unionen att också visa respekt för de olika medlemsländernas olika förutsättningar. Men det viktigaste nu, och inte minst tror jag besöket utav Ukrainas energiminister kommer visa på det är att vi blir av med beroendet ifrån ryska kraftslag och att vi blir av med beroendet ifrån fossila kraftslag. Och jag tror att förutsättningar för en annan typ av diskussion i energimixen inom EU har ur det perspektivet blivit bättre, om än av tråkiga anledningar.
Tack. Bloomberg in English.
Yes.
So you're talking about the need for increased production of energy, but there's also might also be a need for reduced demand. And the EU had a target for this winter. How do you see the coming winter? What needs to be done in terms of reduced demand in the coming winter? And what scope do you see for even stronger decrease of demand?
No, but it's clearly so. We need to work on energy efficiency, and that is something that both companies but also households have been working very actively with in the last winter. But it has been for the very reason that the prices have been skyrocketing, and it hasn't been possible for companies or households to pay their bills, so they've had to cut their use of energy. But at the same time, we're also having important files that we're discussing within the European Union on how to pave way for more energy efficiency in buildings, for example, and also premiering companies that are cutting their use of energy. So that is something that we really see as important on the table now that we're discussing, but that will be of even greater importance in the years to come. And everything that we build new and moving forward needs to be as energy efficient as possible.
One more question from the lady in the scarf. Sir.
What do you expect from the debate on electricity market design? What do you want to go after a fixed debate? What do you want to achieve? And also, what about the discussion on a nuclear alliance that France wants to launch tomorrow as a part of?
So what we know at the moment is that the Commission is expected to put something on the table on the 14th of March. Rumor has it that it's going to be somewhat of a slimmer product or a more direct product, I would say. And I think that this really is a very important opportunity for all of the energy ministers to be able to discuss and come with input. So we're happy to have Commissioner Kadri Simons participating in and hearing the discussions from all of the ministers today, seeing what their inputs are, but also in light of the 1-year mark of the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the Ukrainian energy minister visiting us today. I think that will also shed some light to the situation. I would like to emphasize that this is of utmost importance for the Swedish presidency, and we are aiming to provide an as efficient presidency as possible, moving this forward swiftly, because the European Union's agenda has been very much tainted by emergency resolutions and emergency decisions. This is finally something on the table where we can sort of lift the gaze and look onto the horizon and find a more sort of long-term solutions to the energy crisis. I will be with you again after we've had the opportunity to welcome the energy ministers and the transport ministers. The Swedish stance on nuclear power is very clear, but I think in this very difficult geopolitical situation that we're in, I think that has made it even clearer that the primary goal has to be green transition, while maintaining competitiveness for our companies and prices that are manageable for our households. And in that, if you have those goals, the overall goal has to be fossil-free. And then we need to respect that different members will choose different energy sources to make that transition and to reach those goals. We'll meet again. Thank you so much.
Press conference 6 o'clock.
Hi, morgen.
Yes. Good morning. Guten Morgen aus Stockholm. Herzlichen Dank für Ihr Interesse. Ich werde auf Deutsch sprechen jetzt, für Ihr Interesse am heutigen Rat der Energie- und Verkehrsministerinnen. So, jetzt haben wir es auch mit Bild. Herzlichen Dank für Ihr Interesse am heutigen Rat der Energie- und Verkehrsministerinnen. Sie wissen, beim Rat der Energieministerinnen, und ich werde damit kurz beginnen, wird uns auch dieses Mal beschäftigen, wie das gesamte letzte Jahr, die Verwerfungen am europäischen Strommarkt. Ich bin an dieser Stelle in den unterschiedlichen Ratsformationen schon oft gestanden und habe gesagt, es braucht eine Reform des Strommarktdesigns. Wir müssen den Gaspreis vom Strompreis entkoppeln, und das wird auch heute wieder Thema sein. Sie wissen, der Strommarkt, da müssen wir jetzt Tempo vorlegen mit der Reform, und zwar mit zwei Zielen. Einerseits uns nicht mehr so erpressbar zu haben durch einen Menschen, der mit Energie uns unter Druck setzt, erpresst, der uns mit Gaslieferungen und seiner politischen Manipulation der Gaslieferungen unter Druck setzt. Also wir müssen das europäische Marktdesign krisenfest machen, und wir müssen davor sorgen, dass die geringen Kosten der Erneuerbaren auch bei den Menschen, bei den Unternehmen in Europa rascher und unmittelbar ankommen. Da ist die Kommission jetzt gefordert, einen Vorschlag zu machen, einen Vorschlag, der effektiv ist, der wirksam ist, der diese Ziele auch erreichen kann, den werden wir dann diskutieren. Aber das wird ohne Zweifel das zentrale Thema sein, heute, aber auch in diesem Jahr. Und dann noch ganz kurz zu den Verkehrsthemen. Auch beim Verkehr geht es um den Zusammenhang Klimaschutz und Mobilität und den Ausbau der erneuerbaren Energien im Verkehrssektor. Ich werde diesen Rat aber vor allem auch für bilaterale Termine im Verkehrsbereich nutzen. Da geht es bei meinen Terminen auch um das Thema Transit am Brenner. Sie wissen, der Brenner ist der Alpenpass in Europa mit den meisten Lkw-Transitquerungen, mehr als alle anderen Alpenpässe gemeinsam. Die Situation vor Ort ist mittlerweile für die Bevölkerung untragbar. Das ist ein Thema der Verkehrssicherheit, ein Thema der Infrastruktur, vor allem aber auch ein Thema des Gesundheitsschutzes für die Bevölkerung. Ich werde in meinen bilateralen Terminen an diesem Rat auch dieses Thema intensiv besprechen, auch mit dem Kollegen Matteo Salvini, weil ich erwarte mir auch von den Nachbarländern, dass sie anerkennen, dass wir hier ein Problem haben und an einer Lösung mitarbeiten. Laut Forderungen stellen aus Rom ist nicht genug. Wir brauchen ein gemeinsames Arbeiten an konstruktiven Lösungen, und das werde ich dem Kollegen Salvini morgen auch sehr deutlich mitgeben. Ansonsten gerne für Ihre Fragen. I think we're well advised to focus in our work on those solutions that are at hand, that are cheap, that are no regret, and that pose no risk. And these are renewables. We have everything we need, from wind, from solar, from hydropower to biomass to geothermal. If you talk heat, we have what we need to deploy renewables fast and efficient and in the critical decade for climate action. So Austria is very clear. Our way is towards 100% renewables, and we'll do so by 2030 for the electricity sector. We are currently #1 in renewables deployment in Europe. with around 76% in the electricity mix, and we will continue to do so also for the rest of our energy mix. And I think this is for the crucial files like the Renewable Energy Directive. We have to be very focused that this is the way we need to do. This is also the only guarantee to cheaper prices. And for much of the continent, this has been the number one preoccupation.
And what do you expect from the reform of the electricity market design? Does it have any demands or any expectations of what the Commission should propose mid-March?
I think this should be and will be one of our key projects this year, key political projects with the reform. And I've stood here in different council formations and said we need a reform that helps us to decouple gas from electricity prices. We need to be sure that we achieve two goals, that we are less vulnerable to political manipulation of our electricity and gas markets, and that the lower prices of renewables, they are by now the cheapest form of generating electricity, that they are felt and delivered to companies and customers in Europe alike. And the Commission is now it's now the Commission's term to propose by mid-March a comprehensive and effective reform, and I am sure this will be our central preoccupation this year.
What do you think would be the most difficult issues in this consultation we discuss on the global electricity market between member states, and where are the biggest disagreements?
I will be able to answer that question after our first round of exchange this morning. This will be one of the key topics of the debate this morning. Yeah. Darf ich dann noch kurz 2 Fragen für den österreichischen Rundfunk beantworten, nämlich zur Situation der Gasversorgung in Österreich und zum Wasserstoffthema. Zur Situation im Gasbereich. Sie wissen, wir haben letztes Jahr eine Vielzahl an Maßnahmen gesetzt, um die Versorgung in diesem Winter in Österreich zu sichern. Unsere Gasspeicher sind derzeit noch mit 71% gefüllt, und das ist gut, weil dann mit vollen Speichern in die nächste Speichersaison zu gehen, heißt, wir brauchen weniger neues Gas, um die Speicher wieder voll zu kriegen. Alle unsere Maßnahmen wie die strategische Reserve oder auch die Buchung von Leitungskapazitäten für nicht russisches Gas bleiben selbstverständlich aufrecht. Für dieses Jahr wird sehr wichtig sein, der gemeinsame Einkauf auf europäischer Ebene, der, wenn wir unsere Kräfte bündeln, dazu beitragen wird, dass die Kosten für Gas weiter nach unten gehen. Und natürlich bleibt es auch wichtig, unsere Einsparbemühungen voranzutreiben. Weniger Gasverbrauch heißt leichter rauszukommen aus der Abhängigkeit von Russland, heißt leichter reinzukommen in den Ausbau der Erneuerbaren. All das wird unser Fokus bleiben für dieses Jahr. Es ist aber die Situation deutlich entspannter als letztes Jahr, aber wir sind erst über den Berg, wenn wir wirklich raus sind aus der Abhängigkeit. Und zur zweiten Frage, nämlich zur Frage Additionalität beim Thema Wasserstoff. Wir haben für Österreich in den Verhandlungen zum delegierten Rechtsakt zu grünem Wasserstoff einen großen Erfolg erreichen können beim Prinzip der Additionalität. Muss ich jetzt kurz erläutern. Die Kommission hat in ihrem Vorschlag vorgesehen, dass wir viel grünen Wasserstoff brauchen, und dieser Wasserstoff, der durch Elektrolyse hergestellt wird, braucht viel neuen grünen Strom. Und das Prinzip der Additionalität sagt, für Wasserstoff braucht es neue erneuerbare Kapazitäten. Das ist auch gut und sinnvoll für Länder, wo es geringen Anteil von erneuerbaren Energie gibt, weil dort ist sinnvoller, den verwenden wir direkt, als wir machen einen Umweg über den Wasserstoff. Aber die Situation ist anders in Ländern wie Österreich, wo wir bereits einen sehr hohen erneuerbaren Anteil haben. Deswegen ist es uns gelungen, das Prinzip der Additionalität für Länder mit einem sehr hohen erneuerbaren Anteil, dass das nicht gilt. Ab 2028, 90% erneuerbaren Anteil, fällt diese Voraussetzung der Additionalität. Und das ist gut, und das ist ein wichtiger Erfolg und ein wichtiger Meilenstein für Länder wie Österreich, die einen hohen Anteil von erneuerbaren Energien im Mix haben. Herzlichen Dank. One more question? I think we need to be very clear on whether the goals of the reform, and I think the goals of the reform from my perspective must be to be less vulnerable to political blackmail on the energy markets and to be sure that lower prices of renewables are handed down and are more sooner and quicker felt by customers and companies alike. And this is the yardstick against we must measure all the reform proposals. And now it's the Commission's turn to actually deliver a proposal by mid-March, and we'll discuss it then. Thanks.
So, hello, good morning. Michael Theurer, Parliamentary State Secretary of Ministry for Digital and Transport in Germany. First of all, we are still in a crisis situation, but from our conviction, we should not lose the ambitious climate and mobility goals out of reach. And for our ministry, the hydrogen strategy and technology neutrality as a guiding principle will be very important for this conference. So we would like to discuss with the colleagues how we can foster especially the hydrogen technology in Europe, because we believe that hydrogen will play a crucial role in storage of renewable energy and in transport of renewable energy in the mobility sector. We will not match the goals of climate protection if we cannot foster this technology. So that is one major point we would like to address here. Bonjour. We have to prioritize not only the building up of charging infrastructure for battery electrical vehicles, but we also need urgently the loading infrastructure for hydrogen and hydrogen derivatives. So we expect that the European Commission will come forward with a proposal for e-fuels also, because we believe that for existing combustion engines we need more e-fuels also in the transport sector, but we also need hydrogen for F-cells. Yeah. So that will be a crucial role, not only with the AFIR regulation, but also we are asking for another legislation. The Commission should come forward with a proposal how e-fuels can be used, or how combustion engines which are run with climate neutral e-fuels can be organized. We are confident that the EU Commission will come forward with that. For the German federal government, that is a very important point. So we are completely convinced that the battery electrical vehicle is now the way to go, but we need more approaches. And for us, technology neutrality is important. So we need hydrogen F-cell technology and also e-fuels, especially in heavy vehicles in truck transport. CO2, do you talk about Euro 7 or no? No. Or is it the CO2 emissions? Yep. Yep. Yeah. The German government is in favor of ambitious goals in this legislation, but according to the Euro 7, the position of our ministry is that we have to talk about some technical details, that is especially the real driving emission test and the specifications. But to assure you, we are in favor of ambitious goals, but we want to see a proposal of the European Commission how combustion engines can be run if it is guaranteed that they are fueled with climate-neutral e-fuels, because we believe that we need this technology also to reach global climate goals. It's a high priority to finalize the CO2 emissions, but Euro 7 is still under discussion, and the German government has not found a joint position on that yet, but we are working hard on that. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
On the legislation you asked for on the hydrogen charging infrastructure.
Yep.
What do you want exactly to
Yep, it's.
for these
Yep.
legislations to do?
The European Parliament is in favor. The trialogue is undergoing at the moment, and the European Parliament is in favor to build up filling stations for hydrogen for heavy vehicles. And we believe that the proposal of the European Parliament, of the rapporteur, is worthwhile to reflect on it, because we should have along the 10T corridors all around Europe, we should have this these loading points for hydrogen, because otherwise the European interoperability is not working. And in heavy vehicles, battery electrical vehicles are one solution, but we have an increasing traffic transport in goods, and therefore we believe that we have to have these hydrogen filling stations all around Europe as well. And we would like to have realized a higher, a more ambitious level of implementation. More filling stations all around Europe.
And outside of AFIR?
No, it has to be included in AFIR.
Sorry, but I didn't get what you want to do, the Commission to do on hydrogen outside of AFIR.
Yep. Yeah, that is the e-fuel legislation, and that was introduced in the recital 9A, and now with the Euro 7 it has to be introduced as well. So that is our proposal, but we try to lobby the European Commission, to push the European Commission to come forward with a proposal. Technically, that might be realized in a very easy way. If you have a tank facility at your truck, and it is guaranteed that is a climate neutral e-fuel, which can only be filled into the truck, that could be a solution. How it will be feasible technically.
Do you have a majority in council to
We had a majority to introduce this recital in legislation.
So you're confident you will get a majority to introduce that in Euro 7?
Yep. We hope that we can convince more people, because we believe that otherwise the climate goals cannot be achieved. Thank you very much.
So, I would like to give a statement in German first, and I will do a second one in English, and I'm open for questions in German, French, or English. Yeah. I'm only explaining. So I'll start in German, and then I'll continue in English. Because of the common climate ambition and the energy crisis, Europe has never cooperated so much in energy issues than today. And it's thanks to the common energy market that we arrived out of this crisis with limited damage. So we managed to turn around our provision of energy and got out of Russian fossil fuels and started a huge investment move into efficiency and renewable energy. And now we have to draw the lessons from this crisis period and reflect on the right policies for the future in European energy policy. And there we have to face two basic lessons. First, the gas provisioning is still not safe. Even if we manage this winter, this doesn't mean that next winter will be fine as well. And therefore, our success that we achieved our gas-saving targets has to be built upon with stronger targets than the current 15% for the next winter, so that we keep warm at more affordable prices next winter. Second, our energy prices are still too high. They are too high for competitive industry and they are too high for our consumers. And therefore, we have to get the history right, the policies right for future investment into renewables and efficiency first and foremost. Therefore, it is now important on these two basic lessons to draw the right conclusions for a European reform of the European power market. And that means that we have to be sure that we prioritize investment. Everything we do must help to increase the supply of safe and sustainable and renewable energy. And with this reform, it's important that we have to keep the signals right, that all investors, all market participants are still faced with market signals. It would be a bad step backwards if we would fully turn back towards a fully regulated energy market where price signals do not arrive at investors and power providers and therefore be in the end an inhibiting factor for new investment for sustainable energy. And therefore it is important to us that we do this reform in two steps. The first step should come with quick and no-regret measures which can be enacted and even brought on the legislative way before the European elections. And a larger, more systematic reform which sets also the long-term signals right. So therefore, a European energy market reform can do a lot of good, but it can also do a lot of damage to a system which is functioning. And therefore we are saying, let's be ambitious when it comes to the no-regret measures. Let's be fast. Let's set the priorities for future investment. But on the other side, let's get the fundamentals right on the basis of a proper impact assessment so that we can ensure future investment. Yeah, just a moment. I will now do that in German for my electorate, and then I do, then I answer with pleasure your question. So, Europa hat noch niemals so viel im Energiebereich zusammengearbeitet wie in diesen Zeiten. Durch die gemeinsame Klimaambition, aber auch natürlich durch die Energiekrise, durch Russlands Angriffskrieg auf die Ukraine ausgelöst, hat Europa mehr denn je zusammengearbeitet und wir haben es durch den gemeinsamen Energiebinnenmarkt geschafft, aus dieser Krise mit einem blauen Auge herauszukommen. Das heißt, anders als viele vorhergesagt haben, haben wir die ganze Zeit Versorgungssicherheit dargestellt. Aber wir müssen aus dieser Krise eben auch die richtigen Lehren ziehen. Und da gibt es zwei zentrale Punkte, die wir angehen müssen. Erstens, wir sind, was die Energiesicherheit angeht, beim Gas noch nicht im sicheren Territorium. Auch im nächsten Winter kann es zu Knappheiten kommen. Und deshalb ist es so wichtig, dass Europa weiter seine Energieeinsparziele einhält. Wir haben unsere vorigen Ziele sogar übertroffen. Und deshalb können wir jetzt auch mit höheren Zielen gute Marktsignale setzen. Wenn wir über die bisher vereinbarten 15% Gaseinsparung hinausgehen, dann senden wir das Signal an den Markt, hier gibt es keine Zeit, ist es nicht die Zeit für neue Preissprünge. Zweitens sollten wir sehen, dass wir nach wie vor das Angebot ausweiten müssen. Denn es gibt hohe Preise, zu hohe Preise für viele Verbraucherinnen und Verbraucher und natürlich auch für eine wettbewerbsfähige Industrie. Und deshalb gilt es, das Angebot an nachhaltiger, klimafreundlicher Energie auszuweiten. Und das müssen wir bei den Reformen berücksichtigen. Und jetzt bei diesem informellen Energieministerrat diskutieren wir eben genau diese Reformen am europäischen Strommarktdesign. Und dabei sollten wir diese beiden Lehren, die Preise sind immer noch zu hoch und wir müssen auch weiter an die Versorgungssicherheit im nächsten Winter denken, das immer im Kopf behalten. Und daraus folgt eben, die zukünftige Strommarktreform muss so gemacht sein, dass sie nachhaltige Energieinvestitionen stärkt und nicht schwächt. Wir dürfen keine Rolle rückwärts machen und die Marktakteure wieder zu einem vollständig durchregulierten Energiemarkt kommen, wo es kaum noch Marktsignale gibt. Die Marktsignale müssen bei den Investorinnen und Investoren und allen Energiemarktakteuren ankommen, um die richtigen Anreize für Zukunftsinvestitionen zu setzen. Das heißt, die Investitionen in Erneuerbare brauchen auch hier Priorität. Und deshalb sind wir der Meinung, dass man diese europäische Strommarktreform in 2 Schritten machen muss. Schnell und zügig vor den Europawahlen die Maßnahmen, die man hinterher nicht bereut, die Maßnahmen, die uns schnell zu mehr Langfristigkeit in den Verträgen bringen und die auch dafür sorgen, dass die Verbraucherinnen und Verbraucher für Preisspitzen geschützt werden. Aber auf der anderen Seite die systematischen langfristigen Reformen so anzulegen, dass sie keine Schäden anrichten, sondern dauerhaft Europa fit machen in ein 100% erneuerbares oder zumindest fossilfreies Energiesystem. Und dafür brauchen wir eben die gemeinsame Einsicht. Mit einer gemeinsamen Energiemarktreform kann man viel Gutes tun, aber man kann auch viel Schäden anrichten. Und deshalb gilt es eben hier in 2 Schritten vorzugehen. Your question was, what are these measures? Yes, the no-regret measures are several, of course. There's a whole list. So there can be, we can strengthen long-term contracts. We can give a proper framework for those. And we can also, under certain conditions, open more easily for CFDs. But these CFDs have to be designed carefully, and there are some which are no regret, and others where we have to be careful. For instance, they should be voluntary, they should not be compulsory, they should profit new installations rather than old ones, so that we do not disturb functioning markets with these reforms. However, there's a whole list of things we can do immediately.
Could they be designed in such a way that kind of brings in this emergency measure of the marginal price cap into the electricity market?
Let's reflect first how it worked during that crisis. So far, we have not yet evaluated how much money we really got into it, and obviously, sending signals in the long term to a market that if you earn money, you are immediately indirectly taxed, is not setting a signal towards sustainable investment. So everything we have to do has to be targeted to extreme profits. Otherwise, we are disturbing market signals, and we need strong signals for renewable investment rather than the threat of a new indirect tax on everyone who's moving too fast.
What do you think about guaranteeing stable prices for contracts for nuclear?
Well, I would say also nuclear has to be integrated in the European energy market. So what I was saying that market signals have to arrive at all investors in order to ensure the integration is also true for nuclear. So renewables are more and more integrated in the market. So it would be not very logical to say that we relieve, on the other side, new nuclear or old nuclear from market forces. We need one European energy market, more united, and this means market signals have to arrive at the different market operators. Well, many talked about this. It is not easy to do because you need the right incentives for new H2-ready gas plants in order to be ready in extreme circumstances. At the moment, we have switched on a lot of coal power plants in order to support France, where there was a lack of nuclear energy. So when we want to get those out of the market, also with the ETS reforms, then we need to have the right signals in order to invest into these gas-powered installations. And therefore, this is exactly the area where we have to think carefully, because if we do the wrong things, we do not get the signals which we need for these investments to complement for more volatile, renewable-based markets.
When you talk about more ambitious targets for reduced demand than the 15% last year, what do you have in mind, and when do you think that agreement should be in place for 2020?
Well, I think we need these targets to be agreed soon, because we agreed these targets for last winter, and now these rules have to be prolonged. So there is no reason to say, yeah, that's now done. We had a relatively safe winter in comparison to what we expected. It was actually not so pleasant. Industry and consumers suffered, and therefore everything we do in order to signal markets next winter will be fine. There is no room for speculation, and we anchor the future price expectations at a lower end is helpful. And therefore, the more clear we are that we will save energy also until next winter, as long as it's needed. This is what will calm down markets and help in the end industry and consumers alike.
Any indication of what sort of magnitude of the reduction that you see as possible?
Well, as I said, we achieved more than 15% in Europe. Some member states achieved less, but on average, Europe was really successful. I remember last meetings, there were a lot of cynics saying, they're only talking about it, it will not work, and as always, Europe produces only laws and no action. It's all wrong. So we achieved more than 15%. And therefore, it is only logical that we set a higher target than this 15% for the next period. Yeah, merci, thank you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this meeting. It's very important, I think, to discuss development of the transport sector and also for the energy field, how we can secure energy security in the future, how to produce more renewables, and also how Norwegian can contribute with a high level of export of gas in a difficult time in Europe. So I'm looking forward to meeting to discuss with my colleagues here.
Can I start? So a short statement from Romania regarding the energy. We look forward to work with Sweden Presidency.